Hi everybody, we are back again, but this time we're going to be taking a look at adding annotations to individual grades, both annotations that are pre-formatted into Plus portals and creating your own if you'd like to have ones that are more individual to your personal grading style or subject matter. So I'm going to go to a gradebook and I'm going to be using the beta because remember this is all about converting over from Silverlight to the beta. And as we open it, so the gradebook here is now open, and I've got a lab here that I would like to create some custom annotations for. So to do that, let's first go over to the grading. And here in grading is where you can find a whole bunch of options. So in terms of scores, these are just shortcuts that you can use if you wanted to, A plus, A minus, and it will put in these numerical values for you. If you scroll down, you'll also notice they do have check plus, check, and check minus, and they have their own pre-formatted values. These scores are not editable, and you cannot add to these. So feel free to use them, take advantage of them, but they're not particularly customizable. But again, if you use things like check plus, check minus, that is useful to know, and the shortcut is there. You type in a Q, a V, or a Z, and you could get that. But today, we're focusing on score annotations. So the gradebook has a set of annotations that are already pre-formatted here. You can see things like turned in late, maybe they needed assistance, poor effort, maybe it was incomplete, or it was a missing assignment that was never turned in. So these are some that you can certainly use, but I would like to add one, particularly for me. So I'm going to click the Add button. One of the things I allow my students to do for some assignments is I allow some editing or revisions. So I'm going to type in the code first, right over here, and I think I'm going to use REV. That'll be my code because it'll remind me that it's revisions. And then in terms of the annotation, I'm going to say editing or revisions were completed for this assignment. And I'll click Save. So that'll add it. So these are some other custom annotations I had originally put in, but they get added to my list. So now that I'm done, I'll click the Done button. So I'm back in my gradebook after I clicked that Done button, and I'd like to revise or put in some edits for, some annotations for these particular grades. But the way this gradebook works is if I am in the typical mode of entering a numeric value, I can't also be in the mode for entering annotations. So you have to toggle essentially back and forth between the two, because if I try to type in the annotation, I'm going to essentially overwrite the numerical value for that particular lab grade or that particular grade in my gradebook. So there's a couple ways to do it. I can right click and enter annotation or enable annotation mode. I can enter it from a list. Okay, I can do advanced annotation entry. Or I can also go up here and click on annotation mode and it'll switch me over as well. Either one is fine. It'll get you there. Now, you may find that you want to start by doing it from a list, which is okay, but you may also find that you know some of the codes you want to use. So what I did was I clicked on this particular score. I knew the code because I'd created it myself, and it begins showing up as soon as I type it in. If I hit the enter button or click to the next one with my mouse, it will allow me to go ahead. I type it in again, click it. This time I'll hit enter. It'll just keep scrolling down. If this person doesn't have any annotations, I can just hit the enter button again, go past them. Now I started to make a typo here, so it's wondering what I did, so I'll fix that. You can see how that comes up. So I hit enter, but I hit enter before I clicked on that option. So that's what happened there. Okay, so I'll just keep going down from student to student and continue to enter the annotations in that way. Now, if I were, say, going to enter an annotation from a list because I didn't have it memorized, then what I could do is, so I can click on a student here, right click, and enter annotation from a list. I could pick something like they needed assistance, select it. Let's say, in this case, that's not true, or I've made an error. I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to remove the annotation. And that will take care of that. So if it's something that you even want there temporarily, like the assignment is missing, but you want it noted for parents and students to see when they check their grades, then you can go back and take it out just as easily. Now, annotation mode only works if it's unlocked. Okay, locking it kind of firms everything up. So if I went to this column and right-clicked, you'll notice that that option no longer shows up anymore. So that's how you do annotations, custom annotations. Hopefully that's helpful for you to kind of have a more customizable and information providing gradebook rather than simply numerical values. It can kind of enrich what parents and students see as they look at your grades, or their grades rather. All right, take care.